Thank you, Fynn, for joining us on the We Need to Act podcast. It is a great pleasure to have you with us.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. And I wanted to start, on your experience. And you had started on a traditional career path working in for the meat industry, which is known to be one of the most polluting and lobbying intensive sectors.
That's both correct.
What was that experience like, and what inspired you to take a different purpose-driven path?
So I was working and studying in the meat industry, in fact, for about 8 years. And I did it basically because they gave me huge opportunities. So they paid for my bachelor and master degree. I had a good salary. I had a company car, like everything I needed, especially in the mid-20s. So that was a lot of benefits for me. And in the end, I started to manage my own team. And this team made about 15 million euros of revenue every year. And we sold 100,000 tons of meat products in a single year.
That's huge.
So that's huge. That was pretty insane. And it was going really well. I was pretty happy until we had a massive scandal. So in the end, you probably saw pictures like this as well. There was activists breaking into one of our factories, doing videos and releasing them. So in case anyone who's listening to this is eating right now, maybe I don't go into the details of what these videos were showing. But in the end, this moment was a bit more like my waking up moment, seeing these animals, seeing our products, which were not really good for me or let's say any human being to eat. It was definitely not very good for the planet. And it was certainly not very good for the animals. So that was more my moment where I thought like, okay, what are you doing here? Like, probably you should change something. So that was I think in 2018. So now quite some years ago. And I was fortunate enough to take a year off afterwards and went traveling mainly to Latin America, from Mexico all the way to Santiago de Chile. And since then, I'm living vegetarian. So changed quite a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, but this was my experience in the meat industry.
Were you aware of the conditions, of the animal conditions when you worked there? I mean, before the activists show up, or you were just focused on your work and just selling and not very interested on the backstage?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think my uncle is a butcher. So it was coming more from a family background that this seems to be normal, like these products and so on. But our company was more in the final step of processing these products. So I was not really seeing living animals. So I think I just saw the quantities of these products. And when you sell tons of meat products, then you do sometimes think like, is that normal? Is that okay what we do here? And so I was not thinking a lot about it in the first couple of years. Maybe the first 6 years, I was very focused on my career, very focused on my progress, until I really woke up, to be honest. And I think that was a very good moment for me.
And that's okay. That happens. Well, it happened to me. I was not working on the meat industry, fortunately, but I was working on the corporate sector.
Yeah.
And I also had like this wake up call and say like, I'm not just a number, I'm someone.
Uh-huh.
And I want to do good. I want that my actions to have some impact on people's
Yeah,
lives. And
that's
even
it.
if I'm working for companies, my actions had some impact for companies as well. I mean, at least opening their eyes to
Oh,
the
yeah.
problems and changing something from within.
Oh,
Um,
fully.
yeah. So then you change. You have this.
Then I changed.
Yeah. for to a purpose-driven path, and you've created Ocean Pulse. And before we dive into this great project of yours, I want to ask you something because you said that you traveled to South America, and Ocean Pulse is about the ocean. What do you think when you think about the ocean? What comes to your mind personally?
Oh, this is a big question, huh? It
Yeah.
seems simple, but it's a big question. Well, I think to answer it is pretty easy for me. I would say I think about sitting on the beach and watching the sunset over the water, and this is pretty much what's answering everything. So there's something magical about it. I think it's the fact that it's just so much bigger than us. I think it's the fact that it's I know our own mind cannot really comprehend how big the ocean is and all the animals living in it and all the plants. And so the question is somehow easy to answer, but not, because it's a feeling which you cannot really, it's not really tangible. But this is pretty much what it gives to me. Like sitting down on the beach, watching the ocean is giving you the calmness you need and just very positive energy.
Well, that's great. And it's like this attraction to the unknown because there's so much we don't know about planet
Oh,
Earth.
fully.
There's so much we don't know about the ocean.
Yeah, 100%. And I think in the end, every diver, tourist, swimmer, people on the beach, surfer, kiter, you name it, gonna share this feeling. Everybody knows, like you're swimming in the ocean, you are doing your favorite water sport discipline in the ocean, and you just feel it. You just feel positive and good and balanced.
Yes, water is also connected to the emotions.
Oh yeah.
What was the main motivation behind founding Ocean Pulse? And did you face challenges becoming this kind of environmental entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, 100%. But let me start with the first question.
Uh-huh.
The main motivation was pretty much coming from firsthand observations. So I was luckily having the opportunity to be a kite instructor for a couple of months. So I was working in Colombia and Brazil and pretty much seeing firsthand trash piling up on the beach in mangroves, in lagoons, and we were pretty much kiting between ships bags, pretty much. Like in fact, we did. And there was one moment where one of our students in our car on the way to the kite spot was seeing more the locals that was in Colombia. So in the very north of Colombia, it's a very it's more like a indigenous area, indigenous land, and over there, there's not really trash trucks. There's not really infrastructure. It's insanely hot. So people in fact need to burn their trash. Otherwise, it's the bacteria and worms are starting probably on day one to come for your trash. And it was a moment where one of our students was more starting to rant about the locals, how they ruin these paradise like spots. And I think it was this moment where my friend, which was running the kite school, he was more pointing out that it's not that easy, you know? So, because he said, like, we are bringing the tourism, bringing hostels, hotels, restaurants, we want infrastructure, we want something to drink, and this is in the end bringing pollution. And I think the idea back then, it's like almost 2 years ago now, was just to take some of the responsibility in all of this. Because I said, to myself, basically, when we are more or less responsible for bringing kite surf or whichever discipline, industry and infrastructure there, then we are partly responsible for the trash problem as well. So then I started thinking about the concept and what could we do and how to motivate people and more like, how could this concept look like? What could a brand be like? And then it's coming into entrepreneurship, right? And I think starting a nonprofit is almost the same like starting a for-profit startup with one very big difference.
Less funding.
No, sorry,
Less funding.
less funding, but most of the startups are not having any money as well.
Yeah, that's
Like
yeah.
they're having the same problem.
Yeah, they have to
But
seek investors. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, so they need money too. In the beginning, most of the startups are completely broke, and the people who are funding startups are having basically nothing. But for me, the main difference is in a non-profit. So what I'm doing, people will not tell you that your idea is shit because everybody tells you what you do is awesome.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Keep going, because no one is saying no to a non-profit. No one is
Yeah,
saying
you're not
no
asking
to
for money.
no, and you're not really
Correct.
no one going to be really honest about it because everybody
Mhm.
wants to encourage non-profit and
Mhm.
voluntary work. So maybe the person is saying, "Oh, that's amazing. Keep going. That's the best thing I've ever heard." And
Uh-huh.
then I ask for donations,
Oh,
or I
yeah.
ask for getting active, and it's like, "Ah,
Yeah,
mm, no, I'm
not really.
out." Not really. So I think this is the main difference. When you want to sell a product, people
Mhm.
are just saying no or yes. I think when you want to start a nonprofit, people are a bit more like, "Oh, that's amazing, keep going," but I'm out. So the feedback you are getting is really different.
And was that part of getting funds demotivating somehow? I mean, did you
Mm, like for myself, of
uh-huh,
trying to
and
find funds and so on, we are still at a quite early stage, so we don't have any massive fundings yet. So right now, the whole organization is running on voluntary work. So I have luckily a nice team with me, which all do this for free. So there was a graphic designer who helped with the logo and the colors. There's someone who's helping, who's being the treasurer of Ocean Parts, who's helping with the financial part. There's a co-chairman who's always giving me feedback on how to do things and helping me a lot. And there's so many people involved in my surrounding, just pushing and helping me building this up. So right now we don't have any big fundings yet. This is pretty much the mission of 2026. So this year I want to go out and ask pretty much European Union, the government of Germany, the industry from every sports discipline, water sports discipline, foundations, of course, private foundations. This year I want to go out and try to find more money to bring Ocean Pilots more from a passionate pilot project to a really serious, large non-profit with more and more impact.
that's great. And before we dive in more details regarding what you do or the projects you have,
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight something that you said, which is really important. And I've been listening to that and to other podcasts, which is the community. So you have a
Yeah.
community of like-minded people that are supporting you. And that's so important for us to move forward. Otherwise, it would be incredible hard.
Right. 100%. Probably the most important part of it.
Yes. And hopefully you will get more people supporting you this year. And can you please tell us more about the work that you do at Ocean Pulse and activities, projects you have in place?
Yeah. So I would say we have different levels of what we do. Because we're still a pretty young organization, the very first thing I would call it the immediate relief. So this includes basic beach cleanups. In these beach cleanups, we want to bring together the community, as you said. So we want to bring together tourists, water sport activists, local communities. So the last cleanups we did, for example, in Colombia, we worked together in the first event with an organization called Amigos del Mar. So this is an NGO from Cartagena, which works since 15 years. So this is more our our local heroes, which we want to bring into our community to activate local people. And then we want to bring the water sports community and tourists, which are already there. There was probably like around 40 people coming to this event. The second event was just on a kite spot. So telling kite schools that we need to take care of this beach, of this ocean. And there was more like 30 kite surfers coming early in the morning, cleaning in 30 minutes more than 80 kilograms of trash, which is just showing how much demand for our work is out there. And so this is the immediate relief. Another thing is we want to try to install trash bins where there's no trash bins, or we want to convince governments to send the trash truck, because a lot of water sport destination and water sport spots are in the middle of nowhere. So there's quite often no trash truck coming. So we want to work on this side. This is all the immediate relief. Then the next level is a program which we call Water Sport for Change. So Water Sport for Change right now is a group of about 10 kite surf instructors which want to implement conservation into their schooling. Meaning, because almost in every discipline, no matter if it's diving, sailing, kiting, surfing, you have a pretty straightforward agenda, which every student is hearing in their first couple of sessions. And it's mainly about safety. It's about water conditions, wind conditions, the spot check, and so on. But there's not really a part about the environment. So what we do is we implement a 2-minute eco talk in every student's first class, so that we not just talk about the sport itself. We give everyone a bit of this environmental challenge we are facing as well. This we want to definitely scale a lot, because it's actually pretty simple. Almost every instructor on this planet could implement this into their work. And we have a script, and I'm working right now on a platform where pretty much every instructor could go. So like, here, I'm speaking this language. This is my name. This is where I'm located. And then we provide them with this script, and they could implement this eco talk into their work. And I think it's insanely powerful, because imagine we have 1,000 of these instructors, and 1,000 instructors are probably seeing maybe 10,000, 100,000 of students every year. So the leverage would be insanely huge.
Yeah, the amplification. That's right.
Oh yeah. And so much awareness, and people maybe just go home, talk to their friends,
And parents.
change behavior, use less single-use plastic, try to convince others, or maybe donating here and there so we can continue our work. So I think this is a very simple tool in the end, but when we think about it in a large scale, I think it's giving us huge opportunities. And then the last thing we work on right now, we are developing an Ocean Pulse certification. So that means we want to go to the source of the pollution, which is pretty much hotels, schools, and entities located on the beaches. And we want, in the end, to incentivize these entities to ban single-use plastic, and through this, attract more eco-conscious premium tourists. Because this is getting bigger and bigger, that people are expecting, for example, from a hotel in the beach, in any beach in Brazil, that they do something more than just having a nice hotel. So one of our members, one of our founding members, he's running a hotel, and he was encouraging me in the beginning when I shared my first concept with him. He said, like, the latest market study is saying that the community aspect in tourism is becoming more and more important. So that basically everybody needs to do something more except running a nice hotel.
Yes. A
And
positive
yeah,
impact on the community.
yeah, exactly. And this is what we are working on right now. This is not fully live yet. We have one pilot hotel in Brazil which want to participate, but this is a bigger project. Probably takes 1 or 2 years more. Depends on the resources we are finding this year. So let's see when we are fully ready with this project.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers, and you will have the funds and resources you need to run
Yeah.
this beautiful project. And are you 100% dedicated to this NGO?
In fact,
Or
I am.
you- Okay.
Um, I'm paid zero point 0.0 euros
Oh.
so far. So I'm 100% dedicated to it since last December, so quite recently.
Mhm.
But I think it just pulled pulled me in some
Mhm.
way that I need to do it and that I need to try making this work properly. Of
Mhm.
course, just from the love to the ocean, I probably don't survive forever.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. So let's see what I can do this year. So I set myself the goal of by the end of 2026, I'm
Mhm.
gonna re-evaluate my path,
Mhm.
and if I feel like big foundations and big
Mhm.
governments and so on are really interested in supporting and funding our organization, then I gonna keep doing this 110%. If not so, I'm most likely gonna try to find a job and do this more as a hobby, passionate project. But to be honest, this plan B is for me not really the option right now.
Okay, so let's focus on plan A.
Yeah, this is it.
What would be your biggest achievements regarding ocean poles? If we Finn in the future, looking back to the past.
Oh, that's
What
a good one.
what do we
So you mean if I'm like, I don't know, we have 2030 or 2035, and I'm
Yeah.
looking back how it
Yeah,
works
like
right
5
now.
years from now or 4 years from now, 2030.
Think as soon as I see that this organization with all the impact we are having is rolling without me pushing it, because that would mean for me this community aspect is really taking off. I think that would be a huge success. In this scenario, I would see, I don't know, for example, on Bali next month, there's a massive event from Ocean Parts cleaning a highly polluted beach without me doing anything for it. I think that would be massive, because already now we have all these moments on our events where, for example, in Cartagena, in the last event, there was an boy, maybe like 20. He was bringing his mom to the cleanup. And after the cleanup, she was coming to me and said, like, "Can I give you a hug? This was so beautiful. Keep doing it." And these moments, this is what keeps me going for sure. So if I would see that don't even need to do it because the community is now so active that it's happening without me, so it's becoming something bigger than my own work. I think that would be my dream from now.
Like creating a movement.
Yeah, creating a movement really, because I think when we do, like when we go to the beach and pick up 5 pieces of trash,
Huh?
it's perfect, it's super. But if 100,000 people are doing it, then it's becoming a movement. Then it's having real impact, big impact. A lot of people seeing it, and it's having more but of a snowball effect.
Mhm.
More and more people are getting attracted to it and going to participate. So this is what I try to achieve.
And that's great. And what reasons, I mean, well, if we are talking to an audience, and what message would you like to leave for our listeners, or a call to action, or highlighting the importance of this project specifically, and the need to protect our ocean and our beaches? And what would you say to them?
So I think what I learned now already in 2 years thinking about this
Mhm.
project is in the beginning, I was starting quite a lot talking about climate change. I think it's hugely important. It's probably the most important challenge we have. But I think we cannot really comprehend the concept of climate change really. Like when I talk about this, most of the people are like, okay, but what is it? What do I need to do? So I think the message I would leave is that a lot of people should maybe ask themselves quite selfish questions because we don't really need to rescue the ocean. The ocean without us gonna be just fine. And I think we always think about like we need to rescue the world, and I think no,
We need to rescue
this is
ourselves.
we need to rescue ourselves. In this context, we can actually be quite selfish,
Yes.
and this is why I now bring the conversation away from climate change and more ask myself and other people something like the fish you eat when you eat fish, do you want to have it stuffed with plastic in the end? I think just yesterday I was reading a study where I think it was on the west coast of the US, and there's 182 samples of seafood and mainly fish, and 99% of it was containing microplastic. So pretty much the fish you eat, do you want to have it stuffed with plastic? The ocean you are swimming in or the beach you're walking on, do you want to walk on shells or do you want to work on bottle caps? Then if you're a diver, do you want to dive in a completely dead coral reef? Because this is the path we are on right now. So I think pretty much everybody who's listening to this probably going to say no. And then the message I would send to everybody who is answering this with no, don't wait for someone, don't wait for someone else to do it. I think this is the most powerful advice I got in the past because if we all wait, if we all don't do anything, then no one is doing it. So I think if you love the ocean, if you are convinced that we have a big challenge ahead, donate, for example, donate for us, donate for any organization which is already active. Text us, get active. There's so many ways of doing things. We always going to find something. So just start basically. I think this is the best message I could leave.
Thank you so much. And it is a really important message that is just start, take the first step, and
Yeah,
others will follow.
this is it. This is it. And one step after the other is the most important thing.
That's correct. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. It was a great pleasure.
Hey, thank you too.